Hi there, welcome to Lucille Williams with Christian Talk. I am really glad that you're here today. I was reading my Bible and I was reading in John 11 where Jesus raised someone from the dead. I mean, so often we read our Bible and we just read it, okay, the guy was dead, now he's alive. And whoa, stop! Like, we need to pay attention to this stuff. And let me just read this to you. Verse 43 on chapter 11 of John. When he had said this, Jesus called in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. The dead man came out, his hands and his feet wrapped with strips of linen and cloth around his face. Jesus said to them, take off the grave clothes and let him go. He was dead. He was dead. He was rotting. He smelled. And Jesus raised him from the dead. Now, what happens next is very peculiar. The Jews are talking about it, and there's a big old uproar, as you can imagine. I mean, he raised someone from the dead, and you would think great things will be happening. People will be like, Jesus did this. It is amazing. Let's follow him. But what happened was some of the Jews went to the Pharisees and told them what happened. And the Pharisees decided that they were going to have a meeting. It says here, then the chief priests and the Pharisees called a meeting of the Sanhedrin. Okay, so you would think they would have a meeting going, wow, this guy is amazing. This is God. This is the Son of God come to earth to save humankind. Let's follow him. Let's figure out what we're doing. Let's change our direction and let's follow him. But no, that's not what happened. And I'm just going to read it right out of Scripture. What are we accomplishing? They said. And they asked, here is this man performing many signs. If we let him go on like this, everyone will believe in him, as they should, my added thing to the Scripture. And then the Romans will come and take away both our temple and our nation. What these guys were worried about was their own prestige. Someone's going to take away our temple and our nation. I mean, hello? Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Jesus raises someone from the dead. Clearly he's God. And instead of saying, okay, let's follow this guy, no, they're worried about their country club. And that's what I'm thinking about today. So often, or not so often, sometimes in churches, people are more worried about their prestige, their country club, than they are about doing God's work. So hear me, loved one, if you are doing God's work and you get opposition from people who just want a country club, don't worry about it. Just go on and do God's work, because Jesus just kept on doing what he was called to do. And yes, he was Jesus, but that's our example. He just kept going. But they were upset about the great things he was doing. So just know, when you do great things, yes, some people will love it and they'll appreciate it. And mostly God sees what you're doing, but there's going to be those who are going to oppose you. But don't let that get you down. Don't let that stop you, because there's usually more people that are cheering and going, yes. And you know what? If you see someone doing God's work and loving on people and doing God's work, let them know. Let them know you appreciate them, because they're getting opposition. You just don't see the opposition, but they're getting opposition from somewhere, because there's always people who don't like messing up their country club. And sometimes that's what church is to some people. It's just a country club where they can all hang out and get what they want and get their prestige. And that's what these men were doing. They were more concerned about their little club than they were about the great signs that God was sending to them. I mean, Jesus raised someone from the dead. That's pretty miraculous. I mean, I've never done that myself. So, and I'm sure you haven't either. And still, they didn't say, let's follow this guy. So that's my message. Don't lose heart. Just stay faithful to what God is calling you to do. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, and hey, check out my book, From Me to We. Now you have a great day. I love you guys, and be amazing.